Hey gang, it's Mike Rondo here, and today's video is a little different than what I normally do. Normally do pipe smoking, philosophy, pipe smoking shed stuff, various other topics, but today I'm going out of my comfort zone to talk about this, the Sony ZV-1, which was the camera I used for a year when I started my channel. I started and I used this here. I was waiting for a camera like this to come out that could kind of like jack of all trades type of camera. Now they sell it as a vlogging camera, but 98% of the time I use this as a talking head, just like this one. Now the camera I'm using now is my main camera now, the Sony ZV-E10, which has interchangeable lenses. This has got a fixed lens. I don't even think I have any power on with this. Let's see. No, battery's completely dead, so unfortunately there's no power on this, but the lens shoots out when you pop this lens open, which is awesome. It's a point and shoot basically. But I would suggest if you want to get a good idea of the video quality, and now I use 1080p, I don't go 4K or anything like that. I don't need to at this point, but at some point I might do a special projects where I do 4K or whatever. But I got this new camera the end of August. So I would say anything from July 2021 back to the beginning of my channel will give you a good indication of the quality of the video and different scenarios. I used it for vlogging when I went to the Nellie Vaughan grave, which is my Halloween videos last year. Nellie Vaughan was a vampire legend in Rhode Island. I went there last year. I did another cemetery visit in Cumberland, my hometown of Rhode Island, and the Gray Man of Cumberland. And I use this as well as a vlogging. So there are a few videos where I use this as a vlog. There's also a video where I used it as a car vlog. Early on in my videos, that was probably July of 2020, I think. And it did well for what it was with the car situation. The only problem is I didn't like how big it was, which is strange because this is actually a very small camera. It's a very, I think, the perfect size for the camera. So and part of the reason I went with this is because it's got a low profile. If you're out in public, you don't look like a complete douchebag walking around with a giant camera or whatever. I now, since I got the Jeep Gladiator and I do stuff with the Jeep Gladiator, I haven't done much content with the Jeep Gladiator of late. I now have a camera that I use specifically for that. It's a small what is it, the 360, Insta360 R1 or 1R or something like that, which I find to be great for that type of video. So I moved away from using this type of camera in the car. You could do it. I don't really recommend it because you're driving, you don't want this goofy camera right on the dash or whatever. It kind of looks weird or anything. Well, maybe it's just me. But this camera as a vlogging camera is decent. Now I have right here, you can't really see it because of the light, but there's a ring that I have around the lens here, and of course I got the cage. This is the, not that I'd talk about many accessories or whatever, but I thought it was important to have a cage around this because I was going to take it out and vlog, and I did do that, just in case I dropped it because I have clumsy hands. But there's a ring around here, and this has the Ulanzi wide-angle lens where you can screw on, and you get that perfect vlogging lens, because when you put on the steady shot, it crops in quite a bit and then you lose a bit. So that Ulanzi lens corrects a lot of that. If you're going to use it for vlogging, I would recommend getting that Ulanzi lens, and it doesn't make like the edges of the video like over here and that kind of blur or whatever, and it doesn't give that fisheye lens. But overall, I love this camera. It's a great camera. It's now relegated to my second camera, and it'll probably be used for live streams and that when I get into that. It's also good for B-roll. Both cameras are good for B-roll, to be honest. So why did I switch? Well, I only switched because this one offers a few more, well, it's flexibility because I can change the lens out, and I'm already looking into lenses and stuff, but I'm not going to do a review on this camera until a year. So I was going to do like a 1-month review on this when I first got it, a 6-month review, but I figured I'll give it a year and you guys can go back and look at the footage and see how it is. there are times where you'll see me in the shed talking and the lights are low. I shut these off right here, and it's just the LED lights that I have on. And you can just see how that camera adjusted pretty well. I shoot in all auto. I don't, get into the fancy things and adjust and correct things on my own. I just kind of let it do its thing, and I think it worked fine. Now, this camera, I think with the LEDs, the lights that I have up here, there was a bit of flickering. Not enough to annoy you or take you out of it if you're doing a 10 to 15, 20-minute video, but if you're going longer than that, it's probably going to start to annoy some of your viewers and even me if I was editing. But it wasn't bad. You could get away with it. It wouldn't be that end of the world type of stuff. As long as they can hear you, that's what matters. And for reference, those first, I want to say 4 or 5 videos I did not have what you see here, which is my lapel microphone, which is, whoops, sorry, got a timer going off. I'm doing an experiment with my heater in here. So I use the Rode Wireless Go system on this, and it's fantastic, which I recommend. And that's what I used on this for the most of my videos, except for the first 5. So if you're looking for just a sample of the audio of talking into the camera, what that sounds like, go to the first few videos that I did on this channel. They're not the greatest thing, but then again, none of my videos are really all that stellar. But this handled that pretty good, to be honest. It wasn't that bad. Now, I would recommend this channel, well, of course I recommend my channel, but this camera for anyone who's starting YouTube. I know there's other cameras out there and all that fancy stuff, but you don't need anything too complicated. And I think this is fairly easy to understand. The menu system, as Sony, is always kind of complicated and crazy, but once you kind of get it, it's not that big of a deal. And it just sucks you got to go through so many menus to get to it. I know for a fact that I've had 1, 2, 3 people that do YouTube that ended up getting this camera because I recommended this is what I use and I like it, and it's pretty simple to use, straightforward, right out of the box. You can just shoot and do your thing. And I think especially for the YouTube pipe smokers, or YTPC, in case of you who don't know, or just checking this out for the sake of what type of camera I use and if it's any good or whatever. One of the best things about this, and I'm not sure if any of my fellow pipe smokers have noticed this, when I do a review on a tin or anything like that, when I put it up to the camera, it zooms in on this, and then it zooms back on me, zooms in on this. This is called Product Showcase. This takes out the whole put your hand up and look like Iron Man shooting something at somebody. So that's a great feature to have when you're doing any kind of review, and a lot of people do reviews on YouTube, unboxing and stuff like that. I happen to do pipe smoking reviews, so I can take a tin. Well, I'll just use the lighter here. So it's right here, but I zoom in, it zooms right in, then boop, right back to me. And it's great, because then we're not sitting here going, oh, look at this, and, trying to be Iron Man or somebody waving to people. So I think a lot of you who do the pipe smoking stuff or cigars or whatever might like that option and go from using your cell phone, which isn't a bad option. I know plenty of people that use cell phones to do their channel, and it's good quality. It's not bad video quality, and they've gotten by for years, and they do a great job, and they got a lot of subscribers and views and everything else. And as long as your audio is great, that's all that really matters. But if you want to step it up a notch, I recommend the Sony ZV-1. I think it may be slightly cheaper than the newer camera. And if I had to say which one would I prefer if I was just starting out, and I would say go with this over that, the Sony ZV-1. Just because this is so simple to use, it's just a great camera just to start out on YouTube, especially if you want to go a little better than cell phone video and whatnot. So I can't recommend this enough. The ZV-1 so far, the ZVE10, which is what I'm using now. Sorry, all these numbers and stuff. They could have come up with better names. Is working out fantastic, and I am looking for a lens for the low light situations that I want to do in here. And I'm enjoying this camera. But I would still, this one I would use too in a heartbeat. And it's a shame I haven't used it in like a couple of months, but I'm still getting used to this camera and stuff. So again, I recommend this to anybody starting out a YouTube channel for whatever content you want to create. I would recommend just going back in my catalog and checking video. You don't have to, don't pay attention to the content if you don't want to, if you're not into pipe smoking or whatever random stuff I'm talking about. Just look at the video quality and the audio quality and how it's used and the shakiness, if there's any or whatnot. So check all that. I mean, like I said, go back from July 2021 back is all shot on this camera. I think early August too of this year, but to be safe, go from July on and whatnot. So anyway, I just wanted to come on and give you my thoughts and my experience with this camera. This isn't really like a camera review. It's, there's plenty of videos out there that give you the specs and the settings you should use and all that stuff if you want to get more in depth. This is just me with my experience and I recommend it. That's all I can say. It's a good, solid camera. It'll get you where you want to go. It's not overly complex like the other cameras, like the Sony whatever, Alpha series, whatever, and they're expensive. What, for $700? At least it was $700 when I bought it. It might be a little cheaper now because of the ZV E10 is out. I'm not sure. Both cameras around the 700 range to start, or the whatever. And of course, I got this here. You don't have to get this. I got it with the vlogging kit, so it made it like around $800. And I use it quite a bit because I like to hit the stop record, and it just makes life a little bit easier. So if you can get a little tripod thing or a remote to start and stop your recording of things, go for it. The one thing I'll say from the E10 to this and using this remote, with this, I could hit the record for the video, and if I wanted to take a picture, I could just hit that and it would take a picture. And this, it won't let me, and of course it could be the settings that I'm using it in. Doesn't let me just switch between both. Like I can't take a picture in the middle of the video where I could with this, and that's kind of cuckoo. Also, when you want to turn this one on, let me get it right here. You just open it up and it comes out and boom, it's great. And then you close it, it shuts off. That one, you have to hit a physical on button for it to turn on. Now I can open and close the window and it'll shut the lens and everything, or it'll close it down or whatever, but it's still not as good as this. But in any case, pros and cons to each. If you're just starting out, if you want to up your, I don't want to say up your video quality or whatnot, but to take it to another level, I would say for the pipe smokers in the YouTube pipe smoking community or anybody, get this, because I think you'll benefit with the showcase feature here, where it just kind of bloop focuses on the object that you want to show. I think it's worth that if you're reviewing pipes, tobacco tins or whatever. Use that. But anyway, that's going to do it, because this is a long video just to say I really like this camera. You guys should get it if you need to look for a camera and you don't want to use a cell phone anymore and you want to kind of just go up one level, I guess you could say, and to start out a channel. If you're starting out a YouTube channel, I recommend this. Of course, you could do it with your phone too, but this might give you a better feel for things, and you have a few more options, and I think it gets you in that mindset of, editing. You pull the SD card out, you edit. It kind of gets you in that workflow thing where a cell phone's kind of a little bit different. But in any case, that's going to do it. I'm out of here. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys find something useful with this. It was kind of a ramble, but I really like this camera. I suggest it. Get it if you need it, if you need a camera like this. And I would suggest this over the ZV E10 as of right now if you're just starting out. I would get this camera like I did after you've done this a little while and you want to go up a little bit and have a few more options and then you'd go to this. But anyway, one more thing. Before I was wrapping it up, and I just thought of it. This camera comes with the mount for, as you can see there, to mount it to a tripod or whatever, and it's not really centered. It causes a problem, so you can't access the door and the SD card, so it's like this. So when it's on a tripod or something, you can't access this. You got to actually take it apart, which is a pain in the butt. They have rectified it with the ZVE10. But you can rectify this with a cage like I got here, the II rig or something like that. I forget what the name of it was. Or even the UU rig is what I have. Right there, it says it right there. So that rectifies it. Ulanzi makes one, it kind of rectifies the situation too, so then you can access it. As you can see here, I can open it up, you can get in here, you get your SD card and whatnot, and that problem is solved. But like all things, there's pros and cons with this one, as well as with the new camera. As I've said, there are times I favor this more than I actually favor the new camera. But I've been filming with this for a year, so I'm kind of very much used to this one, and I like this one, and it works, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. But anyway, that's going to do it. I just want to point those out. There's other videos out there that explain the flaws of this, the pros of it. Like I said, I encourage you guys to explore this camera if you're interested, if this triggers you to get interested in maybe going from your cell phone to this. And I do recommend this before getting that, the Sony ZV-10, E10. Oof, all these names, I'm losing track. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. I am out of here now, and I will see you guys later. I have a video on the outside shed lights that I have and all that stuff. So I will catch you guys later.